Hi everyone. For this lesson, we're going to look at what makes a good recipe and what makes a not so good recipe. And then at the end of this activity, you'll evaluate some recipes, and then I want you to send me a good recipe and a bad recipe that you find on the internet or at home or in a cookbook. Okay, I'm going to start with what's considered a good recipe. This is a recipe for chicken almond stir fry. I'm going to show you the elements that make this a good recipe. The first thing I notice is that it has a prep time. This tells me how long it's going to take me to make this recipe. Now, a lot of times they tell you this in two separate segments. So you see that I have the prep time of 6 minutes and a cook time of 10 minutes. That means the total meal to be ready to serve it to everybody in my family is going to be 16 minutes, which isn't bad. That's a very quick thing to make for dinner. The next thing I notice is I do have a list of the ingredients with the measurements, okay? Sometimes in a bad recipe, they forget to show you how much and everything you need, or sometimes they forget to mention ingredients in a very bad recipe and don't tell you at all about it until you're already cooking it, and then they'll say, now add this. Notice on this one, even though it is a good one, it has this separate section down here because this is the side dish that goes with it that says hot cooked rice, make as much as you desire. That doesn't have a specific amount because they're letting you make a decision on that. So some people would make more, some people would make less, and it's almost not with the ingredients list. So that was a little cutting it close, but they do mention it. Another thing you need to see in recipes is you need to see step-by-step directions. These are the directions right here. The directions tell me how to make this item. Step by step. Do this, then do this, then do this. I'm going to pour oil around the top of the preheated wok or large fry pan, coating the sides. I'm going to heat it briefly at medium-high for 375. Very specific. Tells me the temperature to heat it at, right? I'm going to add chicken and almonds, stir fry for 2 minutes, vegetables for 4 minutes, etc., etc., etc. It tells me step by step. Now, in these steps are very, very important things. It tells me the time to do everything. It tells me how to do it. Okay, I'm going to cover it up. It tells me what type of pans and pots I will need. I'm either going to need a preheated wok or a large fry pan, not a small fry pan. It tells me how to put everything together and when to do it. Okay? Stirring constantly, 2 to 3 minutes until the mixture thickens. Then serve over the rice. And the last very important thing it tells me is how much this is going to make. So for example, if I have a family of 6, I'm going to have to make more ingredients, aren't I? But if I'm only serving 2 people, then I can cut this recipe down. Then it has a little hint at the bottom that says that if you're watching your salt, you don't have to use so much soy sauce. So this is a very good recipe. Next, I have a not so good recipe. Now this one, it has ingredients with measurements, sort of. It doesn't say ingredients on there, so if I didn't know what that was, I'd have trouble with that. So I have a quarter cup of sour cream, that looks good. 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, the T is not capitalized, so that would confuse some people. 1 teaspoon of curry powder. But look, how many chopped chicken breasts do I need for this? 1/3 cup of chopped celery, 1 tablespoon of finely chopped green onions, and 12 slices of white bread, uncrusted. Uncrusted. I think they mean take the crust off. Then I go to my instructions. Cut into 4 squares or triangles. What am I cutting? I don't know. Spread the chicken salad evenly on the bread. What chicken salad? I didn't even make it yet. Combine the first 3 ingredients in a large bowl, stirring well until blended. Am I supposed to do this before I do this? I think maybe it's out of order. Cut off the crust of 12 slices of bread. Well, if that's part of my instructions, why did they say uncrusted in the ingredients? Shouldn't I have done that beforehand? Add chicken, celery, cashews, and green onions and stir well. Chill. How long am I supposed to chill it? How am I supposed to make this? Do I need a big bowl? Oh, I do need a big bowl. It's very confusing and I wouldn't know what to do with this recipe. You've seen an example of a good recipe and you've seen an example of a bad recipe. Take a moment to look at the PowerPoint I've included that says very clear details about how to tell which recipes are good and which recipes are bad. Then I want you to look at a very funny video from the news about somebody that messed up their recipe. It wasn't really clear on what they were supposed to use. And finally, I want you to do the activity.